talk to me, Brian. So I know you from the Mad Yolk, and Galway-based people are in the food space would you not know you from that. But give us a kind of a rundown of, I suppose, your background before starting the farm.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So I have no farm background whatsoever. I grew up in Galway City. I'm 38 years old. I had a very traditional upbringing. I went to the Bish, which is a very well-known secondary school. Then went on to do a degree in construction management. Didn't like that. Then went on to get a job in sales. I sold furniture and bedding for about 12 years, give or take. And then I just fell out of love with that because it was suiting me in my 20s. I was comfortable, it was easy, I was getting a fixed wage every week. I was pretty good at it, I could talk, I could sell, but then there was no real value in it for me. As you get older, your values change and you become, you change, you go into different chapters in your life. So I was getting fed up and there was no real growth in it for me. It was just very stagnant and doing the same thing day in, day out. And then I left that and I traveled for 6 months, which is something that was probably did me the world of good. Kind of opened my vision to other ideas in the world and what other people were doing. By accident, I found myself doing a 10-day permaculture design course down in the wonderful Moy Hill Farm, which is near Lahinch in County Clare, where quite literally the seed was planted and I saw a different way of living, I saw a different lifestyle, I saw a methodology where I can make money by farming and living a wonderful life and contributing to nature and producing wholesome, high quality food, which while at the same time enhancing the landscape and building soil and building life. So I was inspired. But because I had no background, I needed further education. So, I had no background. All I ever minded was a dog as growing up. So that was the only animal I ever looked after. And then I didn't grow anything as a child. I didn't grow any vegetables. We had grass and flowers in a housing estate. It was all very, nothing crazy. And then so I went to Sweden. To train with a very well-known regenerative farm entrepreneur slash trainer slash farmer by the name of Richard Perkins, and his farm is based in the middle of nowhere in Sweden, and near a town called Sune. And I spent 2 months working with him, living with him, along with 25 other people from all over the world with a similar mindset, looking to start their own food business back in their region. And that's where I learned the trade. I didn't learn everything, but I learned the basics, and I got some ideas, and I got some inspiration, and I brought them home to Galway. And I bumped up with another man, and we started back in 2020 when the whole world locked down. Myself and a guy called Joe, built a half-acre, no-dig market garden growing vegetables. And then I learned very, very quickly what it is to run your own business, and not just any business, but a farming business, which is very, very labor-intensive.
Right. Very interesting. And we'll get into all that. I'm going to ask a left field question. I hope I don't throw you under the bus here, but just literally before I'm after Googling yourself there, and an article in the Irish Independent came up from a couple of months ago, and there was, those fire locks where I think it's called a firewall or somewhere, you have to pay for them. I never pay for those things, so I couldn't read all the interview, but there was a piece in it to say that an American company, dating company, got in touch with you and that you were on that show. Is that? Can we talk about that, or is that?
Yeah. No. yeah. I thought I'd closed that book, but yeah, we'll open it again temporarily. Yeah, listen, sometimes I live by the sword and die by the sword. I call the farm Mad Yolk Farm, and some of my decisions were mad, and that's one of them. A company over, like a reality TV show company over in America, very, very big company, by the way, like huge.
Yeah.
Contacted little old me, who was just starting his second year in farming, wondering if they can do a dating show, and I was like, this is a joke. Bravo Television is who they work for, which is a big channel over in the States. I thought it was a joke. I wasn't really taking them seriously at the beginning, but as time went on, they were serious, and they wanted me on this TV show to set me up in a blind date situation where this lady comes over from America, spends 10 weeks living with me in Galway in the height of lockdown. This is COVID season, whilst I'm in my second year running my farm business, and I signed up to it for two reasons. maybe three. It's an experience, a once in a lifetime experience that I'm never going to get again. Like, how often is Bravo
Yeah.
Television going to ask me to do a TV show with them? Second of all, they were paying pretty damn good dollar, and I needed every penny of it because farming, building your own farm and starting out in a farming business
Yeah.
is incredibly expensive. You can literally dig a hole and put money into it, and you're wondering where it's all gone. So I needed the money, I needed the cash flow, and that was a big, big injection for me because I was actually transitioning from one farm to another farm at the time, and I needed the dough to keep going. And third reason was, do you know what? Maybe I'm going to meet
Mm.
someone. But you know, looking back, I was like, I was very naive, thinking I was going to meet someone suitable from this type of channel and broadcaster. But do you know what? I did it. It was intense. It was very challenging. I would never do it again, but listen, it was an experience. I'd be able to tell the grandchildren not to do it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I did not meet the love of my life. Far from it, and we got it done and dusted, and they paid up, and you know, life moves on. But I was incredibly exhausted after it. I was on camera for 10 hours a day, 6 days a week
Wow.
for 10 weeks during COVID, whilst minding, you know, at the time, 800 hens and half an acre of vegetables. So it was crazy. It was crazy.
Deadly. Right. Right. Very interesting. I'll have another question for you, and then we're going to touch on the business side. But you had said that you were in sales jobs you didn't really like, and we had this conversation, but the internet connection wasn't good. A lot of people go through are in that situation, right? With rain, and I've been in that situation where you're in a job that you just don't like, it's not for you. Come Sunday evening, you're absolutely dreading Monday morning. Is that something? Is there any advice you can give, or anything you can talk about in terms of, because you're very positive on social media as well, and I love watching your content. I suppose just on that topic of maybe finding your, to living a good life and maybe finding what you want to do.
Mm. Yeah. So let's go back a couple of years, Evan, where I was living a life that wasn't suitable for me and was definitely against every bone in my body, but I got comfortable, and that's the problem in this world. You get very comfortable, just despite the dissatisfaction of the way you're living. You know, so it took me, you know, many years to kind of get out of that bubble and to get uncomfortable. So yeah, I lived a life where I was, you know, I was in a sales job. It was comfy, 9 to 5, you know, 3 or 4 weeks holidays every year, and I knew what I could sell with my eyes closed. You know, it was very easy to me. Um, but then you know, you get on in life, and I was just, yeah, I was very bored, and I was making up for that then in very unhealthy ways. So to kind of bring a little bit of joy and excitement into my life, I was living a very unbalanced life. So I was getting too fond of the beer, and I was kind of just looking for a buzz elsewhere, which was very synthetic and unhealthy
Mm.
and unbalanced and very unholistic. And then yeah, that just kind of, yeah, that got out of control. If I'm being straight with you, that got out of control, and it was, I could have gone two ways at any stage. I could have gone deeper into that road and developed a worse habit for kind of living an unbalanced life, or I could get out and change my life, and that's what I did. I got out. I got out of the pattern. I changed my environment and changed my habits. I changed many things in my life. The way I eat, the way I talk, the way my sleeping routine, my eating routine, you name it. There was a lot of changes made in my life. And one of the biggest changes, where you work, because we spend most of our days
Yeah.
working, you know, unfortunately. But so it's very important to enjoy your work, you know, and I wasn't really enjoying it. I was stuck indoors, I was under LEDs, and I was selling something I had no value or belief in. So it was just, I was very monotonous. I was like AI, just on repeat all day long. And so yeah, so that's when I discovered farming, and I was, you know, I was like, and I always wanted to work outdoors. I don't know what brought me inside, and working with the soil and creating and carving a life that meets my needs. So right now I'm meeting my needs of eating wholesome food. I'm meeting my needs by resting and relaxing in my own sauna on the farm, which is open to the public. I'm meeting my needs by opening an event space in the near future where I can, where I can meet other like-minded people and learn and upskill from them, you know, who are experts in different areas in life. and I can build a small community where there's cool and funky and interesting people in my surrounds, where I get to do interesting things like art and listen to nice music and, go to a storytelling event, have a cinema club, go to an art class, a pottery class, all on my doorstep in my farm. So everything I'm trying to do right now going forward is meeting my own needs. And by doing so, I'm looking to meet the needs of other people who are very like me, because I'm also human like everyone else. And we all have needs.
Very interesting. On that, and like that's such like a kind of an idyllic, like good way to live, it seems. Where does that tie in with doing all that, living a good life, and obviously all the other stuff? We're not going to go, we don't have enough time to go into it all, but supporting local businesses and all the rest of it that you do. Where does that tie in with then the reality of running a business, right? Where you can be as into all that as you want, but at the same time, the bank balance needs to, the money that's going in needs to be bigger than the money that's going out every week, and the business needs to be profitable. Like,
Yeah.
how do you like view that in terms of running the business and actually making money and that side of it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And that's an aspect that many from my experience and from what I've witnessed, where farmers fall short. I know the best of farmers who are excellent at farming, and they love animals and they love growing vegetables, but unfortunately they don't know how to run a business. Just like I'm okay. Thank you so much. Just like amazing chefs who go in and know how to cook the best of food, and then they take on a restaurant business, and they don't know how to run the business. So I've seen that time and time again. So I came into this business with a business background and looking to learn how to farm. So my weakness was farming. That was my shortcoming. I didn't know how to farm, but I was happy to invest time and learn. And I went to Sweden to learn with the best I could find in the world. What I brought into farming was a business background. So straight away, I had that in my back pocket. Okay, I know how to run a business. My product now is eggs and vegetables. How can I sell these as efficiently as possible and make money, make margin to pay the bills, and to allow the farm to expand and offer other exciting things for the community in the future? So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but it's very, very important. I think it's 70% of running a farm, in my opinion, is selling your product. 30% is actually producing the food. That's the easy part. I can produce an egg all day long, no problem. You build a hen house, you put hens in it, and you put it on pasture, and you put a tractor in front of it. That's easy. Then you have to market it, sell it, put a price on it, make it attractive, get on social media, do whatever it takes to get that product into people's kitchens. And once they taste that product, albeit if it's a good product, they will come back for more. If it's easy for them to access it, so accessibility, where are you going out of your way to make it easy for them to access? So I did pop-up markets all around Galway City for 2 years. I went to satellite towns where I knew there was a population, where I knew there was young families looking for clean, wholesome food. I did that for 2 years. I built my brand. It was absolute ball ache work, driving around Galway City. Not only am I growing the veg and producing the eggs, now I'm driving to literally into their villages and towns to try and sell them a product, standing there with my 2 meter by 2 meter gazebo, shouting on Instagram, hey, come on over here, But it worked. It worked because there was demand there, and I was willing to get uncomfortable and go and meet the people. I knew the product was top class, but the hard part was getting it into people's houses. And that's kind of that's the difficult piece. I know a lot of good farmers, but they don't know how to sell the product, and that's so important. If you don't, then the farm will remain stagnant, or it won't grow, and it won't allow you then to expand and try new things. And then there's it's all linked around the poor farmer philosophy, and I'm trying to break that. I think farms should be the rock stars of this century, because it's so important for us to produce healthy food. We see people now getting all these weird diseases dropping everywhere with cancer. I'm not saying all of it is due to poor food, but a part of it is.
Yeah, very interesting. So we actually I asked this question last one, but I thought it was very interesting answer, so I'll ask you again. Knowing that know that you need to make money and it's a business, will we see Mad Yolk all across supermarkets on all the big supermarket shelves, or are you going to stay kind of the route you're going?
Yeah, no. Absolutely not. I'm never going to go near a supermarket, Evan. I'm not a big fan of supermarkets. The only thing I buy from supermarkets nowadays is bog roll and bananas because I can't grow bananas. That's generally all I get. I get a bit of salt and pepper off them as well. Because no, supermarkets they're a monopoly. They basically suppress farmers, food producers, because they have them under the thumb in terms of pricing. So whoever's supplying a supermarket should have no control on their price. The one thing I learned and took away from Sweden is you produce the highest quality grade food you can in your region and you sell that directly to your customers by never undervalue your product. As soon as I go into a supermarket, he'll go, yeah, I'll give you a 15 cent for your egg. And I'm like, no, my egg is worth much more than that. He's like, well, that's all I'm giving you. Then I'm like, no deal, you know? So what I've done is I've found local, small, family-run businesses and restaurants and health food shops and bakers in the west of Ireland who I knew valued my product and were behind me in what I was trying to do, and they backed me. And by backing me, they're also happy to pay a fair price for my product. Unlike supermarkets who basically encourage slave labor and they encourage degenerative types of farming, which is chemical based and machine based, which is destructive to our landscape and destructive to our diet and destructive to humanity. Sorry to get a little bit heavy on you, but it's not a good thing. So what I'm trying to do is turn the tide in a very, very small way, and by feeding my small local community wholesome food, and I charge a fair price. They're happy to pay for it. I'm enriching their family. They're enriching my pocket and allowing me to pay a fair wage to myself and my employees. And then we all live happily ever after.
Is politics ever in your mind? No, down the line, it wouldn't be eventually you take on, no?
No. Oh man, no. I have no interest. I have no interest. My politics is be the change you want to see.
Okay.
It just takes one person or one community to make a change. If we can make a change on a local community level, and that can ripple out like a wave effect, that's how you make real change. Politics is just another business, and I've lost faith in it. They're just business people trying to get re-elected. I'm not a big fan. It's not my cookie.
Right.
I know there's people that love it. It's not my thing. It's not my crumb. It's not my egg.
Right. I could talk to you all day. If you do ever go into politics, you have my vote.
All right. Yeah. Vote Mad Yolk.
Yeah.
The Mad Yolk party.
Yeah. I'll be your spokesman. We'll do a few of these every week, just to get the word out there.
Yeah. Up and down the country.
Brian, thanks a million. It was great to chat to you again. And yeah, I wish you all the best. I'm going to try out your eggs this week. I've never tried them. I've never bought them, but I'm sure I've had them in restaurants and cafes and stuff from Galway. But I'm looking forward to trying them.
If you go onto my website, Evan, and scroll to the bottom, you can see all the locations where you can buy my eggs.
Deadly.
So madyolkfarm.com, you can book this on through there, or you can also see where you can buy and eat my eggs.
Deadly. Let me just finish very quickly on this one. A couple of questions came in. We won't have a chance to answer them all. But someone's asked, any plans for Mad Yolk to start teaching farming to locals in the future?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so that's how I learned. So bear in mind, I'm not a farmer by trade. I'm a salesman by trade who grew up in Galway City. So I went to a man in Sweden. I paid him 40 euros a day for 2 months to teach me how to farm.
Wow.
So that was a great, so people say, are you daft? But it was the best investment I ever made in my life. Because from that, I got data, I got technique, I got skill, and I got hands-on knowledge. So yeah, down the line, 100%, I'll show people how to, it's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm still in the developmental stages of my own farm. So when that is kind of complete and we have things under control and I have people employed to kind of take my position so I can pull myself out of the loop, then I'll be happy to show people this is how you build a hen house on wheels. This is how you get approved by the Department of Agriculture. This is how you brand a business. This is how you sell an egg. This is how you do a pop-up market. This is how,
Yeah.
There's so much to it. This is how you manage cash flow. This is how you get a website up and going. So yeah, and then how to grow your own veg. I'll admit I'm not the best vegetable grower in the world, but luckily I've met amazing people who know how to do that job. And so what I do is I just put people in the right position, and then from that, because I don't know everything. I don't know how to grow vegetables as good as the next man. I
Yeah.
don't know how to run hens as good as the next man. But I know how to find people, work very well with people, and how to manage a business. And that's kind of what's serving me well at the moment.
Dilleen, Brian, I'll let you get back to the hens. I really appreciate your time. It was honestly a pleasure to chat to you. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Sound, Evan. All right, mate. Have a good day. Cheers, buddy.
Chat to you soon, man. Bye now.
All right.